World Weekly Astrology exclusively in Patreon, September 16th until September 23rd. We are going to see what is happening in sky right now and what we are processing in so important and fated time of our life. We are exclusively in Patreon as every Monday with the World Weekly Astrology. So thank you for being here. And actually very interesting to start seeing what actually we had the last days. I'm actually in Madrid right now. You see the location, and this is a very interesting time as you see so many square red aspects in the chart of right now. But even if we go a little bit to the previous days, it was very much hard aspects, and we are speaking about we spoke about opposition between Mars to Neptune, and we spoke about a square, and that is very much happening this week. Jupiter and Neptune, that is very much here, a spiritual call and awakening request for people that are not understanding or not considering the higher best for themselves. So actually this week we are going to have a very important transit that is related to the stationary point of Saturn to move direct. We were waiting for this now. We explained in the past videos that when Saturn went reverse, it was a sort of enabling you to cross in red the road and to take what is necessary for you, and before the karma is going to start taking its dues, because Saturn will wake up and we start moving direct, the gates will start being closing and people will start screaming, and any different scenarios to every person according to his own natal chart could happen inside this. So what we are having right now, we had the full moon in Pisces happened on September 14th to culminate a process that we started already between March to April, to terminate something, to let go of something that we need in order to move forward. We accumulated in our life, in our path, so many garbage, so much toxicity, and we started this September with Virgo time that helped us or called us or started a process to clean and to make reality with the real ingredients that we need in our life, and very much to be called in our physical world, in our daily routine, in our body mind action. And it was a very good time for tune in our health, in our what is healthy to our body. But now with the full moon in Pisces is the also culminating process that I was calling for the last month. What is healthy for our soul? What our soul is very much requesting us or speaking to us to achieve. So we are going to see all this happening in this week, big time, the stationary moment of Saturn to go direct. In other words, the gates are closing. And if you haven't thrown away garbage from your life and you are a very heavy traveler right now in this journey, and if you are accumulating more things that you need and you still very much attached, obsessed even to different habits, and even considering the money you need according to things that are not healthy for you, this will be a trap, a big trap. So I don't know if it's already late or not. Things are happening exactly and will be balanced according to the actions we are doing. But this is very much now a time to lose control. Also for losses, because Neptune, Pisces is related to losses, but also about let's go. Whatever you are holding right now, release your hands and let the observer point of view to take the charge, because this what Pisces is calling us a little bit to process. Now our mind become a little bit, and the general feeling become a little bit of better as Saturn, as Venus and Mercury move together to Libra, and we are going to see it very beautifully here, how they are speaking together. And by tomorrow, I'm starting showing you already from tomorrow, as I'm uploading this video relatively late today. But we are seeing that for entire week and a half, both Mercury and Venus are hugging each other, holding hands, and even now, even though we see this 2 degrees difference between them, it's still together. Now they moved very significant area from Virgo, very basic, in indulgence way, like won't give you the best material or the best comfort or the best quality of towel, but will be practical. With this you could shower and it's clean. With this you could do your homework, because this is, the basic materials, as it's ecological. Now in Libra we are starting to find bridges, and this why Libra is about agreements and about negotiations, and very much Mercury is happy there, and Mercury very much happy with the company of Venus itself, that is a very good friend, and very much Venus is happy now, that is feeling more out of this Virgo boring house it was spending the last weeks, okay, the last 4 weeks. So actually this is a time that we really need to do inner calculation, like what worked so far, what isn't, more in the mind level, more in the spirit level, more inviting to do here a sort of writing or even meditation, sort of, because we are in the side of the wave of the Pisces thing, and this is very much will encourage us to let the unconscious blockages also to go forward and finally to be realized in our physicality as well. So look what is happening. This is September 17th. Okay, you are already familiar that number 17, that is very much right now important with the location of Jupiter and Neptune. And 17 is about 8, transformation, right? And look what is happening tomorrow. This is the last day of Saturn in reverse. It's very slow for the last 2 weeks. Now it's officially stopping in sky. And who is next to it? What we saw already since almost the beginning of the year, the South Node and Saturn together conjuncting in sky. And when South Node and Saturn are conjuncting, and this is about ending, and this is about destruction, because Capricorn, this is happening in Capricorn, and Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, speaking about construction. But when the South Node is coming with it, is about destruction in order to change what needed and what haven't been considered so far. So yeah, Pluto will need few more weeks to station going direct, and it will happen in October, and this will be immense. We are officially going to start in the middle of this week, together with the Saturn stationary direct, the equinox time, the entrance to the last season of this decade. And this is going to be very challenging timing, and it's dramatic indeed, because we are heading to close a huge cycle of Saturn-Pluto in Capricorn that will meet finally in January 2020, and also it's a closure of 30 years since Saturn and Pluto met in Libra, that is closing a relationship cycle, or what related also relationship also sort of to money, what the alliances we had in the world, because as it's just going to Capricorn, it's very much indicating that is about alliances and relationship also of countries, and how we saw the interaction of our new world in the Western world, mostly to measure economy acted, but not only. Yeah, so I spoke previously also, and will continue to speak about it, about the triangle that is the alliance of the US, the Saudi Arabia, and Israel to be a sort of a protecting shield of the US sovereignty in the Middle East and etc. We see the opposing power, which is ruled very easy to see and to know, China, Iran, and also Venezuela, that are contra the US sovereignty. And this is the big interest right now. And with all this 22 number degree that I'm repeating about this number, this is the degree that Pluto and Saturn will meet. 22 degrees is a master number that derived from number 4, that's speaking about rearranging, reorganization. And I'm thinking that this is about a shift of power. Okay, empires that were with a hand on the top will be now with a hand on the bottom, and vice versa, because this is the nature of things. We can look in the history, we can go to the previous cycle of Saturn Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, and we could find there the decrease of the last empire that we had in the Western world. Spain fell, and I'm just here now, and the Ottoman Empire that rose and started to take power. Okay, so this is very much one of my big assumptions that I'm starting to spread around with the people I'm speaking with, that I'm pretty much seeing here a shift between West to East Europe. West Europe is going to fall, and East Europe and all the belt around Russia is going to rise. Okay, this is the reason why I was called going in the full moon of Aquarius in 22 degrees that happened to Serbia, and found there so much good things, and never stopped seeing and getting the information there. So also in the America zone, we may see a transformation. We still don't know how to imagine, how to get prepared to this, but we may see immigration or an improvement or a better life offered in the South than the North America. Okay, and many reasons may be helping to this to happen, as weather changes or whatever we can understand right now as economy. Uranus is in retrogression, and this week we will see is going to move to a new degree from 6 degree to 5 degree, and any time that a big planet as Uranus is changing a degree, we are feeling it like something is happening inside of this music. This is another tone. And number 5 that is going to come is about to do more changes and more reconfigurations, and it's in Taurus. So expect for, as I've just said, the atom to provide us a lot of challenges for change, and also all this should be based on all things that we have been built or were asked to build in so many different levels: physical, emotional, now spiritual levels, in order to get aligned with the time we are entering. And the winter won't be easy at all, as we understand that so many planets will be concentrated in Capricorn. And Capricorn is cold and rough, and no fire element will be available for us. So whatever things you need to buy now, any computer, any device, anything that is very much important, Virgo time thing about, is important and relevant for your production forward. Do it now, because then it will be difficult. Maybe the store will be empty or out of storage, or prices will go higher due to so many other reasons, that cost of shipments or production get lower, right? I just bought a computer yesterday. Still, I'm configuring it in order to even bring more easy way to prepare my materials on a go. Okay, So I'm still recording it here from my mobile, and it was a sort of effective way of doing it already starting this month with Virgo to do it better, quicker, uh, accessible, not having excuses that if not depending in one thing as my computer that should be with all the set organization thing. Okay, so this is already the start. As we understand, we need really to let go, to understand, to look on the surround, to look on the holistic approach of what happened in our life, to see all the losses and all the disappointments that happened so far and maybe years ago in our life. The good reason to this is a reason for anything, looking higher and not trying to still fix things, because if you will be stuck with your ego needs to still fix things in order to succeed with what you trying to show your father or to show society or your friends, you are going to be trapped in a most unnecessary niche that is like a jail, man. Is the jail of life. Okay, that will be very much catchy to find the next exit to come out of it. Okay, so this is very much a time for releasing. We see the North Node in Cancer, 14 degrees tomorrow, and 14 degrees will be similar degree, not similar degree, but it's the degree that is where Saturn is right now. We understand what we need really to change, to end, and what is very much in tune with our basic needs and feeling safe in ourselves. This is a difference with Cancer about safe or the security of Capricorn, security of Taurus, right? The emotional safety is something so much different than security, that you need to have security to a club, to a house, to anything, or in your car or whatever thing, to make sure you have what you have. When you feel the safety that you are surrounded by your family, that you are appreciated, that you are loved, that you are someone will be there for you. This is the safety of Cancer, and we need to focus on this thing now than pursuing more success and more building up on the old structure that is about to fall. Okay, let's look what is happening on a very important day of September 18th. Saturn moves direct. The bill was sent to you. And I'm saying the bill was sent to you because when Saturn is parking and starting, not anymore moving direct, neither 1 minute, is already setting up to go forward and to lock the teeth on whatever undefined thing found it. This is Saturn in 13 degrees, derived from number 4, that will be very much challenged with the Saturn-Pluto meltdown in the 22 degrees that derived from number 4 as well. And Saturn is about borders, and about boundaries, and about challenges and karma. You are doing good things and never get paid for the so much voluntary activities you are doing. Suddenly you get rewards from somewhere out of the blue. You are stealing here, stealing there, and no one saw you, and you are still you enjoyed for some time from a bit, egoistic and non-symmetrical with a low of life. You are going to be punished in 1 or 2 bills that will take all what sort of was taken without justice or against the law. Yeah, this is why Saturn is government. Saturn is about stability of structure society, about success society, and funny how things become so symmetrical, how they chose in Israel to have the election on the 18th of September with this Saturn station will be very interesting. So we see that continuing the holding hands together of Mercury and Venus also in the September 18th, and we see that something is starting to be crazy. What? Mars, 20 degrees in Virgo. Mars is pretty much happy in Virgo because Virgo is telling him, or whatever is happening in Virgo is like, do and work well, okay? I want this and I want this, and under the panels and under the doors and above this, and change the plastic here, all the details. And Mars is very much making things happening. So Mars, very opposite to Venus, is enjoying being in Virgo, feels very much productive. Okay, but look, in 20 degrees, what it's doing? It's doing a positive aspect, a trine to Pluto in 20 degrees. And not only this, we need to see that in this day of Saturn retrogression, of Saturn station to go direct, even one day before, the moon will be in 14 degrees. Okay, so also Mars is very good partner of Pluto. Mars is part of the system of Pluto. It is about the penetration, make things happen. Very much going into the detail and going deep. It's like entering something, a sort of machine to clean inside of a very deep hole in the crack of the wall. Okay? So it could be like a very dentist sort of way. But because it's harmonized between them, it seems that you have here, first of all, a very sharp ability to pass through. And I think that this is more speaking to people that already did some work in this summer. That even not just the summer, also from the springtime, that really started already in March to let go of things that are not happening, that are not anymore serving, that are not anymore exciting. That is like, this is not, like a boy that is not enjoying anymore from a toy of 4 years old and now ready to go to another level of toys, right? So Mars here with a positive aspect to Pluto, meantime is retrograded. This is giving here an ability to put it in, like to hide your key or to move to the other side. This is sort of connecting to the boat of Saturn before they are going to disconnect from the current port we are now to take us to a brand new place. And speak about brand new place, because what will happen few months after the new year will start, Saturn will move to Aquarius, brand new world. So actually the boat that we are now going to connect with are going to take us to a brand new place that we've never imagined or been before. And no story of your family, parents could prepare you to this, because they never lived sort of shift of energy. This is now a curve that we are going to see the other side of the curve, and human are living 80 years mostly, optimally, and there are curves that are lasting for 200 years, 300 years, and now we are about to go to the other side that 3 generations before us haven't walked on it. So, are you still listening to what they told you? To what they are educating you? To what is success? This is why in Pisces we need to surround and to listen to our inner voice to know how to clean up our life and to go to this new place. So with this Mars connecting with Pluto retrograded is pretty much locking the key inside, or putting, or find a locker, or find a seat before anyone even permitted you, that you are already on a boat. Things will start to get separated. People that will be stuck on the continent in code sign, and others that will cross and will discover probably a new place where this is no hunger, this is abundance, this is new opportunities. Okay, and this is very much with a positive aspect to the moon in Taurus, is also about realizing what we want, or realizing what is good for ourselves in a higher level. Because we are just a moment before Uranus is changing degree to 5 degree. Let me just put here a little bit of light. Okay, I could see it better now. Okay, so this is very spiritual quest. Look, this Dalton form that is happening between this south node, north node. Of course, this is the symmetric part of it, but with Juno, south node, with Saturn to the moon, and the north node. This is about the courage and the emotional maturity to know what is good, what is bad, what makes me feel safe, what is me and what is not me, meaning the continuation of my parents' expectations. And bear in mind that Neptune is very much, this is not going to be answered now. Let me do this. Bear in mind that Neptune is pretty much related to expectation, to things that are still not here, are not fantasy. Yeah, so they are expecting from you to be this or other, and are you going to let all those expectations to design your path? Hopefully not, and hopefully you understand what's the matter of your own life. So this is very much going to be applied in the markets, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm thinking to happen with this, because when Saturn is going to station moving direct is about the governments now are going to do here the last lockup, or whatever you will describe to your convincement, to take advantage of the current situation, more than 22 trillion debts in the US, or whatever other issues that are happening right now, and such inflated markets and values of things, and we start seeing some recession indicators to go forward. And with this Mercury Venus that is lasting already for the last week or so, this is very much about the trade, because Mercury is the trader and Venus is about the value, and we see what is happening suddenly with the price of, well, it's all also covered and predicted as we are seeing it now, considering those transits too, the gold decline, and how suddenly without the power of Bitcoin, without the power of the gold that supported it during the summer, cannot very much having the power, but there are so many other changes are going to start applying now, and you understand what I'm sharing with you during to expect during this autumn in crypto. But this will be very interesting because it's going to be a sort of another war now between smaller groups, let's call them, to those big rulers, to those big walls. Okay, so with this Mars positive aspect to Pluto, there also can do here a huge trick to lock in or to increase suddenly regulation, or to put something that no one will sell or will feel, they will do something that is like an inner turbulence that will capture as a very sophisticated trick to take the stock market higher, with the rest consequences of it, as we understand in the weekly astrology for crypto, and some of you already know with the golden oil. So look at this. This is very interesting already in the day of Saturn going direct. This is very, very, very important because Chiron, which is retrograded as well, is going to oppose both Mercury and Venus. You see this? Specifically, Chiron opposing Venus. By the way, I born in 76 when I had not in this exact axis, but I have opposition, and many people around my age have this opposition of Chiron opposing Venus. Chiron is another ruler of Virgo. Is an asteroid, and speaking about what is hustle, what is weird, what is not, what is needing to change, what is needed to heal. Okay, Venus is speaking about relationships and about values and money. So we understand where we are going, and we are closing here a cycle of relationship, how relationships are seem to be a case in our world. And you know, from the 85 level when Saturn and Pluto met in Libra, since then it started to be more interesting to see how before this, let's say, single women above 35, 40 years old seem to be like sick, weird, something is bad with her. Or with men, like maybe he's gay, maybe so many other things that we wanted everybody to go according to the past way of relationships. And now we see how it's become. We are speaking about alternative families. We are speaking about people that are choosing not to have children, or thinking about communities, or whatever different way of interaction and relationship. So this is the healing thing, and this is a big quest here. Have you really healed, or are you noticing, because it's a challenge, it's 180 degrees between Venus to Chiron. It's like, have you really did the correct modifications? Chiron in Aries, like about your wants. Do you still want this sort of status quo? Do you still want this sort of relationship in a world that anyway not going to hold, or the consciousness of people are not designed now to be, or you want still to have such a money to hold in the bank that anyhow maybe banks won't be the case to be this is about the understanding in Libra. Now, Venus is very smart next to Mercury. Mercury helps her to understand what is happening in Google, what is actually the rest people are speaking. Okay, so this is the moment how we are going to enter to this stationary point of Saturn, and what voices is going to be in the background of this. This is very, very interesting. Let's see what is happening already the day after in September 19. From here it's going to be a little bit fast because I pretty much covered the main topics I wanted to speak here. But look, they are continue to be together. Now from this position, and after the opposition from Chiron, Venus, I think that Bitcoin and gold can have sort of a, like a cutoff. Another drop could be a possible thing here before we are going to see what is starting to shift. This is very hard to follow and understanding. And look how symbolic is that suddenly oil is rising and jumping so strongly in a Neptune influence as full moon in Pisces happened, and just 24 hours or inside of this weekend we just started seeing this news. And I spoke already in past videos in YouTube about what I'm predicting toward the end of the year with Saudi Arabia and the oil. This is very interesting transit with the Neptune north node there, and Neptune is ruling liquids. Okay, and in the general consciousness we are seeing here a lot of things about values. So when we're speaking about values and liquid thing, of course this is what is managing the economy of now. Okay, so on this time we are seeing Jupiter and asteroid Ceres very much coming along together, and Ceres is about what is really nourishing us. So they are both in in Sagittarius, and in Sagittarius we really need to look far. Now bear in mind that Jupiter is already past the halfway of Sagittarius. From now on, Jupiter is going to run fast. In the end of November, Jupiter will move to Capricorn, and that's it, my friends. That's it. We are remaining without available fire element. And you know what? Yesterday I received it as like a sort of a bright message. No fire element. And now with this end of era, and we see this also, Neptune is related to terror attacks, because of all what is hidden coming like snacks. And this is what the groups here, there in Iran, Saudi Arabia, damages, Aramco, are happening. And this is the major damage that happened in the history. Even in the war of Iran, never happened such damage to the resources of the oil. So, this is not the end of the world. Maybe it's the end of the world, can be, maybe we could assume, to the United States. But there are still a lot of great suppliers of oil in the world, and now Trump is trying to calming the people, speaking that the U.S. having enough oil for itself, but they just want to put the face down for Venezuela probably, or others that are waiting for such a scenario to happen. So indeed, the price temporarily now is going higher, and we understand that this is also a sort of a supporter for the S&P going higher, as they are correlated. But how it will last? Because this is also not because oil really value. It's because it's damaged, and because it's just feeling that in this specific triangle that we've just explained, the sovereignty of the U.S., this is a decline of value. But once people, and as Macron right now is trying to open the triangle with the Iran process, and remember that Iran has Uranus in 22 degrees and it's having a positive aspect. So I always say that I see that from Iran something positive will come to the world and to the society. Something that will be more equal probably. We still don't know it, we can't imagine it and how way it will come. But this is very much immense. Okay? So, we are seeing the terror and I told you the criminality. I spoke last week about the criminality activity move, because it was indicated by Mars opposing Neptune, and when Mars is also militant, but also in our life is ego, that we are standing against God, like we can push and push, but it will not help you. You can. When you are standing in front of Neptune, you are lost. You just need to let it go. This is like the quantum physics, that when you are looking on the direction of a thing, you are changing it, or like you are losing it. You cannot take it to where you want. And this is why it's best now to dream, sleep, and see from another perspective, from another frequency of yourself, who you are. And you have a lot of wisdom now, as we could see here, both the moon and Vesta in 27 degree. A lot of wisdom here, almost a quincunx to the Jupiter Ceres. Very much understanding and ability to see far away from already September 19th, which is officially the last we can see. Not officially, we have 4 more days to officially start the equinox. That's the autumn. But this is about what is really a value here. But we are still trying to hack the system, and people don't know, or they hack you. Lilith, Black Moon with Neptune, 15, 17 degrees, and what is all doing? A square to Jupiter. You cannot really see. Okay, you have once Mars opposed the last week, and still the energy is activated. You can want until tomorrow that something will go that way or other way, or you have objects, but something is bigger than you. You cannot really control the ocean waves or to stop a tsunami. But when Jupiter is squaring it, is requesting you that if you are dreaming about it, try to see the holistic point of it and not just what you're fantasizing or expecting it to be. Okay, so this is a big change here and crazy here. It's so important things that I'm sharing here with all of you, and hopefully that more people will listen finally to this when I'm just after Patreon sharing it in YouTube. This is the Lilith Neptune is about the rebellious part of our expectation. Yeah, I know, I don't have control, but maybe if I will do this or I will say this, maybe I will succeed this way finally. And this is a mistake because we cannot really see the beyond and we could harm ourselves. Now, this is only can be good as we see here a positive aspect to the south node if you will use this snaky, rebellious way to end something you have been doing for so many years, that this what will release you. So if you will use this jellyfish, I don't know if jellyfish is the good thing, but something that is so flexible and adapting, and you could hide in order to go far. And if you will succeed harmonizing the look, the holistic look of Jupiter, and you will see the things where they are going, and you align with your real truth, you will have great support with this rebellious Lilith that want to do what you want to do when she believes truly and aligned with a long-term perspective of it. Are you there or not? Think about it, because if you want activate or want use a sound, a note of this energy sound, they will use it against you. This note is activated. If you are using it, you are immune and take it to your own favor. If not, will work against you. Do your math. And here we are, September 21st. Okay, September 21st, we are pretty much here waiting and receiving the autumn. But this is like 2 days of the entrance, like is a little bit of a long passage, entering from summer, leaving the summer, entering to the autumn. We see the sun in 28 degrees, pretty much together with a vertex point, which is a mathematical point calculated in Virgo here, that this is a sort of starting a new period forward. So Virgo is put everybody to take a shower, to stand in one line, and to enter according to the turn and order to move into a new era of Sun will move to Libra and will be there together with Venus and Mercury. So this is very interesting because it's already going to be sort of the start of the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur timing in the Jewish religious, that very much significant, and going with the moon cycles. Abraham was the first astrologer on earth that even haven't entered this creation book to the Bible we know today. Pretty much there calculated and indicated all the signs we familiar today. Astrology was here even before Abraham, as we understand the Egyptians and other that pretty much understood astronomy, that so many people today are reducing because of brainwashing of so many generations to favor of religious and bullshit beliefs. Okay, so what we are having this day is very also amazing, because the September 21st, we also have Mercury in Gemini in 22 degrees. This is very much a sort of harmony accord with the full moon that we had in Aquarius. Aquarius is also air element in 22 degrees, and it was a very special full moon in Aquarius in the middle of August, and really helped us to see what sort of future, what sort of shifts of power can happen. And we saw the escalation of the trade war inside of this timing. Now in Gemini, we start to get more knowledge and details of information to how things are going, but it could be very confusing because Mercury ruling Gemini could provide sometimes opposing information that creates confusion. And speak about confusion and duality of the number 22 and what to do. Okay, we need to understand what we do. And we see here in the black line exactly this is the day on these 24 hours between the 21 to the 22nd of September, where exactly the third time and the last this year, Jupiter, that is in Sagittarius in its own dignity, squaring Neptune in Pisces in its own dignity. This is major of a contradictory between belief system, about approaches, about programs going forward, and it could be confusing. Very, very confusing. Okay, so enjoy, and this why we needed, and I spoke in the beginning of the video, to meditate more and to let the information to come from inside outside now, and not trying to stop the practicality a little bit, just to be practical in our way of how now treating ourselves, how focusing on what is important for us to being healthier. I think that this day specifically, also on the 21st, with such of important activation of this confusion and what is worth, is Bitcoin is really the real value going forward or something like this, could be very confusing and uncertain, and could create here very locally, or I think that actually the last accord of the correction, we spoke already in Crypto Focus already since the beginning of the summer, that somewhere around the middle of September, toward the last days of the summer, as we are now indicating, Bitcoin will bottom, and from there will start another phase that probably won't take us to the all-time high we saw in end of 2017, but will take us to a correction that we already, some of you already understand what I'm expecting to happen in the winter. Okay, so this is just to end this presentation, showing you what we're going to have quickly in the next Monday on the 23rd of the month. And we now are seeing that Mercury will be is at 90 degrees, is a challenge with Saturn. Saturn now is going direct, and Venus is continuing being very close. Now it's 4 degrees difference between them in Libra. The Sun is officially entering to Libra. This is the beginning, okay? 23rd of September. This is the first day of autumn 2019. Okay, and now it's culminating all what I spoke previously in those in this video. We see Mars already 23 degrees, and this is already to help people or governments. Each one depends. Each one will use the power against who is sleeping. Yeah, hopefully more people are waking to what is happening inside of the cracks of the things. And Saturn right now is awakening, very, very much still can't move, but not anymore going back. And look, Jupiter already 17 degrees. It's going to run quickly. 13 degrees left to have fire elements. Do what you need. Buy anything or sell or doing anything now that is related to your long-term projection, when electricity or when gasoline or where other important materials that are moving us, that are helping us to create, won't be available for some time, and will create officially, or will bring the recession. And we see on this day of the entrance of the autumn, Uranus is changing sign, changing degree to 5 degrees, and 5 degree related to change and modification. And because Uranus in retrogression is very well to shake the stability, and in order finally to take us to a higher place. This is the aspect that we are seeing, positive aspects to. Um, I don't know if that much positive. Yeah, it's not very much exact, but we are seeing about the shaking of what is now need to move. Saturn will start moving direct, and Uranus will show to all those that stayed in their comfort zone or closing their ears and closing their eyes in order to not get messed with any change of their life, will need to experience it big time due to so many unexpected shifts. Okay, I have some, if you don't know, I have in my website some private services that I'm giving, personal calendars. I'm checking also as to crypto what according to a person date of birth, when the money energy is flowing, like you were be an index or stock. And I start to see, including to me inside of this atom, very negative alerts to people. And I already alerted some of you that are in superior tier about coming dates to take extra cautious, and not to enter to a play that the exit of it will be very hard to save. And the greediness thing, I know this is a sort of a toxic character we have as human being, but is really possible to be conscious and reading the weather before going to a run in a new city somewhere. Yeah, this is all, my friend. It was long. I very much feel that it was very much important messages here. We are in a very karmatic time now. Karmatic in a way that there are major decisions, and we are together going in the war to enter to a new stories, a new status quo of things. And of course, not everything will happen in one day, but pretty much things that we are basing right now forward could take us or very far successfully, or thinking like taking us very far, but will be terminated very sadly. However, so very much to see our consideration. Um, this is not just the end of the summer. According to the Jewish calendar, as I've just said, this is the end of the year in the Jewish calendar. This is a new beginning year starting from the 23rd of September, and we are going to look at this. Indeed, the Rosh Hashanah this year is happening together with a new moon, and it will be waiting a few more days after this entrance of Sun to Libra until the new moon in Libra, and this will be the official new year according to the moon. So this is all for now. Thank you for being here with me. Love you all, and we're in touch. Bye.